Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as I made it clear in the last video itself that I'll be starting a series of videos on computer networking. So this would be the first video for that, and yeah, let's get started. And the first, I decided it to make it on client-server communication. Like I said, the basic purpose of computer networking is to make two computers talk. Let's keep the computers separate for now, and let's focus on just the communication part of it, and try to think it from a very human level and backtrace the thought process. So yeah, suppose we were to determine what do we need for communication, like what's necessary for two entities to communicate among one another. Let's say two humans. What would be the necessary things, bare minimum, for them to communicate among one another? First, of course, we'll need another human, and some people like talking to themselves, but I'm just keeping them apart for now, just for the sake of simplicity. Let's say, I'll just write it down for you guys. What do we need for communication? So what do we need for communication? First of all, we would need another person. Secondly, if you just think of it, first of all, you'll need a person to talk to or communicate to for the communication to take place in the first place. Secondly, you'll need a standard. Let's say standard as in it could be, for this aspect, it could be the language. It would be something like both of you had agreed on something or a medium to communicate, so that what you are trying to say is understandable by the other person and vice versa. So maybe standard of communication that you both have agreed on, or let's say a language. For this case, it can be a language, but a standard can be anything. Let's say, for example, currency is a standard. On a very bare minimum level, it's just a piece of paper, right? But it is agreed upon by everyone that it would be a basic standard for value exchange or that sort of thing. So it's a standard. And yeah, and taking into consideration the computers, most of the communication that takes place among computers are very transactional. Like, suppose I'm not able to do something, and so I'll just ask the other computer to do it, like, hey, can you do this for me and send me what you get. So basically it's some sort of a delegation sort of a thing. On humans it's a bit complex, but with computers it's very simple. Like, if I'm not able to do it, I'll just give it to you and you do it for me and just give me back the results and all. What am I looking for? So let's say they are very transactional communications. Okay, so keeping these conditions in mind, we need another person, we need the standard, and most of the communications will be transactional. So transactional communication, so we need something that we need help with, maybe. Okay, now let's try to broaden it down, or maybe think it from a computer level of an aspect. So what would it be from a computer level of an aspect? So the first thing would be, what do we need for communication is another person. So let's say this is maybe some device 1 and this is device 2. So let's forget the second point for now. Let's take 1 and 3 into consideration. So let's say device 1 needs help with something. So it will just maybe just approach device 2 and ask, like, hey, are you available? And maybe device 2 will respond with, yes, I'm available, or something. Then so basically a connection would be established between both, the way conversation occurs, similar to that. Like you need help with something, you'll approach someone, you'll ask them, and if they are available, they'll just do it for you and like give it to you, and that's all. So that's the concept of client-server communication, and the problem that it solves is like every device doesn't have that every device doesn't need to have very heavy hardware sort of a thing, so that mostly, let's say you are doing a very hardware intensive thing, a lot of processing is involved, and your device is very slow and you cannot do it on your device, the processing part of it. So let's say your device 1. Now what you can do is, now you can just request device 2. Just keep these two words in mind. You can just request device 2 that, hey device 2, can you do this task for me and send me back the result or response. Just these two words are important, but like on a very basic level, they make sense if you are just speaking the sentence as well, so I won't break them down. But basically what the response, I write it down. Okay, so basically device 1 would request and device 2 would respond to the request with a response or an error. Like error as in what would be the possibilities for device 2, like it's able to do the thing and it will return the data. That's one possibility. Other possibility would be it's not able to do the thing, and like it have to inform dev 1, otherwise like dev 1 would be dev 1 as in device 1 would be expecting the results, so it would throw an error, or it would like give an error that, so hey, sorry, I'm not able to do this, like this is the reason for the it's the reason behind it. So maybe you want to change the request or make tweaks and stuff according to that and make the request again so that I am able to do it now. So it's a basic so yeah, this is the basic concept of client server communication. Like, and the thing that we talked about as of now, like one device not being able to have the hardware, so it can delegate it to someone else and it can just get the results back. So yeah, and that's the basics. So here we have covered these two aspects of it. Like we have another person, let's say you put yourself in place of dev 1, then dev 2 would be the other person, and we have the transactional communication part of it, like something that you need help with, you make the request, dev 2 does it for you. If it's able to do it, then you will get a response, and if it's not able to do it, you'll get an error. And the error would say like what all went wrong and why wasn't it able to do the task, so that you can, if there is some issue on your side, you can make the changes and ask for the request again. And also, if there is this thing called RPC, remote procedural call, just write it down, RPC. So this it's basically RPC on a very basic level, because you're calling a procedure as in you're asking it to do something remotely. So that's quite self-explanatory. It explains itself. So that's the concept of RPC, and this is where RPC was born. So yeah, now that we have covered two aspects of communication, but like I think it's clear now about the transactional part and the another person part of it from that point of view. But what about the standard of it? Like how would you map the language thing in humans to that in computers? Let's say you are using some router, some other person is using some like some other device or some maybe some fiber cable or that sort of thing. So those are very different mediums. So we need a standard here as well, because if without a standard you communicate, then the other device, you have to handle it separately for all the devices. Let's say you have to write different code for different kind of devices. That would be a lot inefficient. Like what would you focus on? Would you focus on writing the application, or would you focus on making it support different devices that are available in the world, as in the basic purpose of language? Like let's imagine for every person you have to learn a different language. Like that won't be efficient, right? So that's the problem that we'll be looking at in the next video. That might be a long one, and it would be on the OSI model, if you've heard of it. And yeah, it's a very beautiful piece of engineering, I must say. And it was built a long time back, but the things that it takes into consideration are like very huge. Like we use it in a day-to-day level, but we still take it for granted. And yeah, enough ranting, I guess. Yeah, that should be it, guys. Hope you liked the video. Hope I was able to make the whole concept clear on a very day-to-day basic kind of a level. And yeah, bye guys, have a good day. Okay, yeah. Bye.